This is Dr. Vic, and I first want to thank you for taking a moment to check out this video, as each video that I've been sharing is going to expand your knowledge and understanding when it comes to your health. And I truly believe deep down that when we look at the definition of health, when we define what health means to you, I think we can get a better understanding of what your experience of health is going to be. Now, let me share an example. When we look at health in America today, we say that, we see the increase of cancer, we see the increase of heart disease, we see the increase of chronic illnesses in children drastically growing exponentially. And we look at healthcare in essence. And I always ask the question, well, how are we defining health? Because I truly believe the way we're defining health is only increasing this problem more. So my question to you is, what is health? And for me, speaking to thousands upon thousands of people, doing tons of public presentations, speaking to corporations and civic groups and so forth, every time I've asked that question, I've gotten two answers that have been like almost unanimous. And you probably may have said it. If you didn't, great. You're one of the oddballs. Welcome to the club. If not, it's totally understandable. We have been trained and educated and shared that, this is what health is. And the two things I've always gotten was absence of illnesses or based on how you feel. That's what we've been told, right? You go to a medical doctor when you don't feel good, right? Oh, there's something wrong. I'm going to go to the doctor. There's something up. I can't figure out what it is. Right? And if I don't have any sick, I don't get sick every year, so I'm considered healthy. Now, that is the most common answer I always get. And I always, in our office, you'll hear me talk about this, and we'll have a video on this called Function versus Feeling. And the thing is, if we base our health on how we feel, then what we're doing is we're taking dice and we're rolling them and hoping that we live a healthy life. It's as simple as that. And when we look, for me, I don't like, especially with my health, I'm not taking that chance. I'm taking that to choice. And so here's the thing. If we're going based on how we feel, we're going by the absence of illness, right? We don't see it, we don't experience it. Well, then let me ask you a question. Because I know I've gone through this, and every time I bring this question up, people have gone through this. They've experienced this in some way. And that question is, have you ever known someone who you talked to who was perfectly healthy and fine from what you can see and how they said they felt, and next week get a heart attack, diagnosed with terminal cancer, diagnosed with diabetes, arthritis, and so forth? We've all experienced that. 8 out of 10 people in adults have chronic illnesses or can have an experience of it. We've all experienced someone with that. Someone died very dear to me. Appeared to be healthy. And then all of a sudden they got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. The thing is, if we go by how we feel, we're just going along the road and hoping. Because when someone has a heart attack, 50% of the time they don't feel it. They didn't even know they had it. So how good really is the feeling portion of things? When it comes to cancer, you can't feel that. When it comes to arthritis, you can't feel when it's coming. You can't tell when your body's starting to shift over and start to become diabetic slowly over time. You can't feel Alzheimer's. You can't feel tooth decay. You can't feel high blood pressure. You can't feel a subluxation. So when it comes to health, absence of disease or how you feel are poor indicators. And if we want to transform our health as humans in America, if we want to transform our health for our children's sake and for our own sake, we have to shift the definition. Because that definition, that model, that paradigm isn't working for us. We need to look at something different. And this brings me to the second answer I get, which is very slim, but it does get answered this way. And that is, some people think when it comes to health, it's how you eat and how you sleep and how you exercise. That's health. And again, I'll make this one shorter. Have you known someone who has done that? Have you known someone who is exercising, sleeps well, eats right, and they still end up with a terminal illness or some sort of condition? I know at least 5 people. And they work out, some of them work out better than I do. And eat better than I do to a certain degree. There was a guy named Roger Fix. He was the known guy who started running. He was the jogger. He ran and jogged all the time. Look up, Google his history, and he ended up dying of a heart attack on a run. So again, the question comes, when it comes to health, is eating right, exercise, and sleep, is that really a better definition or the absolute definition to health? I don't know. For me, I like an absolute. I like to get to the bottom of it that sums it all up. Now, before I go to the next one, I want to have you understand that exercise, nutrition, and sleep is vital. It's very important when it comes to your health. But it's not the absolute marker, and that's what I'm trying to get at here. So, you might be asking, Dr. Vic, what do you reckon? What is health then? And health is based all upon how you function. You see, if you function well, you can exercise well, you can eat well, you can sleep well. If you function well, it's going to be very hard to have disease or illnesses or the body to break down when it's functioning at its optimal level. When your body's 100% healthy, there's no room for disease. Would you agree? And your health is all based on how you function. It all starts there. That's the root. And if we start looking at function when it comes to our health first, we'll change healthcare instantaneously within one generation. But the key issue that we see in America, and I see personally with all my research, is that when we look at function, we have to look at what is it that controls the function of the body. Really, what is the bottom line that controls the function of the body? And when you really look at things, there's only one system in the body that controls everything. It controls you to watch this video, to hear the words I'm saying, to watch the movements and so forth. And that's your nervous system. So if we want to change healthcare, we have to first look at the nervous system. We have to really see what's going on there. How is it functioning? What's happening there? Because that overall, no matter what else is going on, no matter what you feed the system, no matter what you put in the body, what lotions, potions, or lotions you put in the body, you have to look at function first. You can't change the machine without shifting the controls of the body first. And so if we address looking at function first, we start to change healthcare. You start to adapt and evolve better. You start to handle things a lot better. When you go to exercise, you take it to the next level. This is why athletes, all athletes that we know of, look at their function first. Foods, how you sleep, how you interact with your friends and family. We have to look at function first. Then everything else comes together. You see, the reason why I harp on so much about the definition of health is because that when we look at health overall, when we define things, it defines our lives. Okay? When we define things, it defines our lives. So how you define health is really going to define your experience of it. Does that make sense? So really take a moment. You may have to watch this video over and over. Really let it hone in. Think about this process, because this is huge, and everything that we do, and with being here in our office, but more importantly, everything we add to your care process and what we're going to do. This is vital to understand that when it comes to your health, you have to have a clear vision and definition of what it is. And once you do that, once you realize that it's truly function first, everything else second, that's when your health will start to transform. I hope this video was insightful, and I look forward to the next one, chatting with you and helping you along your journey, your chiropractic journey for that matter, with us on the wellness path. So until next time, be well, live well, the choice is yours.